when parents read your children's books to their children? Tell me, what do you think? What's the benefit?
So I do have two series, like you said. So one is more, it's called The Mystic India for Kids, and it's more based on the Indian Hindu mythology. So, but then it's not a religious book, it's not a religious text kind of a storybook, but the stories in it bring out the values that are told in those stories in a way that's approachable for children. Children understand it through storytelling, because especially for kids under the age of, say, 8 or 10, if we were to tell them as parents or educators that, oh, you have to do this because you have to be patient, or you have to do this because honesty is the right thing to do, they don't really relate with it, they don't understand, and it becomes a rule that we are enforcing on them to follow. And the minute it becomes a rule, they resent it, they don't want to do it. But then if you frame it in such a way that it's shown as like a superpower, or it's like a strength that they have and they can use it in a fun way and learn, it sticks with them and it stays. They learn it without realizing they're actually learning it. So that's the main motive behind those books. And my second series is similar but more chapter book style books, which is called the Everyday Superpowers. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do with those books. Is so there are two books in it now. The first one's on patience and the second one is on honesty, but pictured in such a way that they are superpowers that the kids can use. And also, those books have elements that speak from the child's point of view. Like, how does a child feel? Like, for an adult, when we say be patient with something, we think of, okay, having to wait for something or giving it that time to happen. But then for children, it is even more difficult, because they are like, they get frustrated from waiting. They're agitated because they don't want to wait for something to happen. So, and when that happens, how are they feeling internally? Like, how then I try to address that and that side of things also in the book.
No, wow. And you know what you're doing right there? You are teaching from your perspective how children can see the win. And when they're reading the book, they're listening to parents. How do your children's books impact parents?
I think it makes things easier for the parent also, right? Like even for me as a mother, like when I'm trying to tell my children, oh, you have to do this a certain way, it becomes very instructional and they don't want to listen to it. Whereas when I read about it in a story and I tell it, and the next time there are occurrences where my daughter has then quoted something from back to me from the book saying, oh, in that book, you remember this person did this. So that's what I'm going to do today, because they relate with that. But if I were to tell her, no, 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 you should do it like this because mommy is telling you to do it like this, no, then they don't want to do it, right?
There has to be motivation for them to do it.
Yeah.
They have to be motivated. So they read it in a book. One of your characters, for example, one of your characters, they always brush their teeth every night before they go to bed. And you say to your daughter, you've got to brush your teeth. Remember in the book, so and so always brush their teeth every night.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like when they see it happening in their favorite characters, then they're like, oh, I want to do that.
What they can relate to it, Preeti.
Yeah.
Wow.